The iPhone 16 is a straight up scam. For that money, you could throw a dart out the window and hit better value in someone's pocket walking the street. You'd honestly be better off with the Galaxy S24. Today, we find out why. Let's go. So we looked at the Ultra phones and the value that Samsung has compared to the Pro Max, but something that gets often forgotten about is Samsung have a base model range as well. Lots of people focus the attention on the iPhone 16 and the 16 Plus and how they don't really offer much in terms of value, yet they're somehow the most sold iPhones of the range. For the money, there's so many better options out there, starting with the Galaxy S24. So let's talk about why. The first thing is the display. The display on the Galaxy S24 is leaps and bounds better in terms of value than what you get on the iPhone 16 for a number of reasons. One, it's brighter. It's got a peak brightness of 2600 nits, which means outdoor visibility is going to be exceptional. Normally, Samsung don't have consistency along the displays. S24, S24 Plus, and the Ultra, they all have that same level of brightness. You also have a much better, in my opinion, and more efficient always on display feature, where the background can be cut out and the foreground is still in focus and the black pixels are actually turned off, meaning you still get the picture and you get the seamless transition from going from the lock screen to the home screen when it brings that background back into focus. And of course, 120 Hertz. For Apple to still charge you that money for a 60 Hertz display on a flagship phone, and a lot of people defend it by saying the general person won't notice it, and that is 100% correct. The person buying the iPhone 16 probably doesn't even know what a refresh rate is, but that still doesn't mean Apple shouldn't give it to them. Just because they call it promotion doesn't mean they should reserve it for the Pro phones. So Samsung don't just reserve it for their Ultra flagship, they have it on all three of the S24 lineup, which means that you're still getting that fluid interaction on the S24 and S24 Plus, and you don't have to spend extra for that. It comes standard with that model. Number two, and this could be a little bit controversial, is the design. And the reason why it's controversial is because the S24 is very similar in design language to the iPhone 16, which means that for the value of money, you still get all the other advantages the S24 has, plus you get a consistent design feel. So if you're switching from an iPhone to the S24, you're not having to adjust to a new design language. That design is consistent for you to experience. But also, the design is consistent along Samsung's lineup. There is a uniformity about the minimalist camera design at the back, about the materials used, the colors on offer. There's some consistency there, so you don't have to feel like you're missing out just because you're not getting the top level. Apple with the iPhone 16, it's not that they nerf it, it's that you can clearly tell that they're holding back from the base models to make the Pro and the Pro Max look better. The bezels are a little bit thicker, the materials aren't quite as nice. You can see the differentiation. Samsung have a way of doing that as well, but the bezels and the display and the design aren't part of that. Then you've got the cameras. The first thing I'll mention is the camera hardware. Now, of course, Apple have done some things this year with the base model where you get the better hardware, but it's limited to just 2 cameras. And they try and sell you on it being like having 3 with the 2X, but you still lose out on that physical telephoto camera. Samsung with the S24 and S24 Plus have always offered a trio of cameras. I think from the S10e, where they only offered 2, they decided there and then we're still going to offer the trio of cameras because we think that experience is important. Every model since has had an ultra wide, a main wide angle, and a 3x telephoto, and that's their lineup. And you get that with the S24 and S24 Plus. That camera hardware offers you more flexibility when you're out there capturing content. Because you've got the flexibility in hardware, you've got the flexibility to capture what you want in sort of whatever way you want. The reason why you have that too is because the camera software that comes along with it. With the S24 series this year, Samsung really went about adding so many different modes for you to capture your content. The one I really like is dual recording, where you can actually record from 2 cameras at the same time. And other things too that sort of go along with that is things like single take, where you can point it at your kids, let them do what they want, and the mode will actually capture it for you and put it together in a little album. Clever. But there's so many other camera modes too. It's not just about the ones that get all the headlines like the high resolution or things like 8K video recording. It's the little details. Things like auto framing, things like single take and dual recording, that are built into the camera app that allow you to have flexibility of how you want to capture things, as well as the quality that you get too. But then moving away from things like camera, you've got the obvious things like Samsung DeX. And I mentioned these in my other videos as well, but the Samsung DeX experience isn't nerfed on the S24 and S24 Plus just because you're not getting the Ultra. The experience is identical. The phones perform the same, the mode performs the same. You simply have to plug the phone into whatever peripherals you wish, and Samsung DeX launches. We should all hopefully know what DeX is by now. If you're watching this video, the chances are you probably do. However, if you aren't aware of Samsung DeX, you can head up here and watch my comprehensive guide to Samsung DeX where you can learn everything about it. It just transforms your phone, completely makes it from just the phones in your pocket to this amazing sort of computer that you can work on any type of display. As long as you've got the right peripherals, or in some cases, you don't need any at all, you can do it wirelessly. You've got a computer in your pocket. And I guess part of DeX, it's part of the software, is oneui. Samsung do such a good job with oneui now. Feels fluid to use, the interactions are natural, but it is so feature packed. There is so many things in here that you can do. Things like the always on display that I showed you before. Features like the edge panel, where you swipe out from the side and you've got all your apps and shortcuts that you've docked there yourself. oneui is just crammed full of those sorts of things. Sometimes you got to go looking for it, and sometimes Samsung don't do a really good job of telling you about the feature. You've kind of got to learn yourself, but it's there. They offer it for you. That's one thing about iOS that I kind of find a bit disappointing, is that it's quite limiting. They are opening up and bringing more customization in, but they're doing it in a way that they still control the experience. You don't have that control. You're still within the bounds of what Apple decide you should be able to do. Number 7 is Galaxy AI. Now again, Apple's got Apple Intelligence, but as I said in the other videos, you can't access it yet. It is still very much in beta, and a lot of the regions where it's going to launch, it's not even launching well into next year. So there's a lot that you have to wait for, and a lot of people say about Samsung is don't buy a phone for promised future updates. Yet, here we are with Apple promising future updates and features to come, and we're all just meant to accept it. Whereas I think if you can access it now, if you want AI now, the S24 has got, with Galaxy AI and the new oneui update, a plethora of AI features. Ones like Portrait Studio, where you can turn a photo of you into like a cartoon or like a superhero, a comic book character, and you've got some fun that you can make with that. Galaxy AI is also very useful and functional in things like productivity, built into Samsung Notes. It's built into Samsung Internet. You've got a lot of AI function in S24, and it's part of the package. You don't have to, you're not getting it. So that's definitely a reason why too. And the last thing I want to talk about is performance. You might think it's crazy, especially with the S24 in Australia, we've got the Exynos, and then Apple have got the A18. So you might just immediately say he doesn't know what he's talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, because whilst the A18 has got all that raw power and that ceiling of power, it's also limited by iOS. Whereas with Exynos and oneui, you can do things like Samsung DeX. You can do things like 8K30 video recording. That's all available, even if the chipset, the ceiling of performance isn't as high as something like the A18. The other thing I'm going to sneak in here at the end is ecosystem. Samsung's ecosystem is so vast and so widespread, and it's not just about the stuff that's on your wrist or things that you wear in your ears. It's about the home. The connected home, air conditioners, TVs, monitors, all form part of it, and it's all controlled by SmartThings. Some of the visuals you've seen in this video are supplemented with S24 Ultra, but the experience is the same. That's the good thing. The S24 doesn't lose out on those experiences, and the value you get from this phone compared to the iPhone 16, you just get more and you can do more. That's why we think it's the better choice. Hit subscribe. Got lots of videos planned for the next couple of months, lots of big stuff happening. I'll see you guys in the next one.